What's going on, everyone? JD Compton here. Today we're going to be talking about my top desirables for Adobe XD to be announced at Adobe Max this year. Let's check it out. I, for one, have enjoyed all of the awesome features that they've released this year. They brought out some pretty heavy hitters, and there's been some speculation about some new features that are coming down the pipeline. So these are my top desirables, ranging from animation all the way down. So let's begin, shall we? Coming in at number 1 is animations and animation workflows in Adobe XD. So for me, animations would take the cake. It is what gives life to an otherwise dying world of pictures. I love animation. I love things that move, that have life, and being able to bring that kind of life to Adobe XD in kind of an interesting format would be something that I would absolutely enjoy doing every day. I love After Effects. It's like one of my key programs that I love to use from Adobe, but putting animation inside of XD would just add that layer of easiness and sweetness to not have to jump back and forth for my prototypes between Adobe XD and After Effects. Even though I do love that factor, just having just a little bit of micro animation on a button or something else where it can fire based on a delay. So the way I see it happening is you have your main artboard time, you start that time, and then everything else that follows that time afterwards would be just a delay. So time starting at 0 seconds, and then at 0.4 seconds, you would bring in this button so it would fade up, fade in, and then you at the same time, 1 seconds later, would change the color of that button to be maybe a gray to a green. Just adding a delay to any element inside of the artboard would just be amazing for me. Next up is states. Now, states covers a very wide swath of just different things that you can do within a state. So everybody complains about hover and everything like that, but hover isn't the only one. You have tap, you have double tap, you have tap and hold. There are so many different states now that we interact with in terms of UX design based on the environment that you're in. And I find it important that states be included. Now, this has been teased. So this is one of the ones that I feel like is got the verification stamp put on it. And I kind of expect to see states announced. So we'll stay tuned and see what they say. So number 3 would be the relocation of master components. Now, right now, for me, master components are awesome. Being able to use components are awesome, but sometimes you'd like to clean up your workflow. Maybe you are working in another XD file. Maybe you're bringing something from one XD file to another XD file, or if you started something in one and it was like, you know what, this would be good to put in the other. And the other is the one that has all of the, master components inside of it. I'd like to be able to take that master component that I started in this one and reseed it as the master component in the other one and still retain all of my links to that master component in the one that I had attached to it. So just a small one that may be off to the side, but definitely voted on that. So coming in at number 4 is linking to other XD docs, and not the physical docs, but the actual presentations themselves. So whenever you share something for review, it'd be kind of dope if you could have one application that you needed to interface with another application, be able to animate to that same application within the Adobe XD document that you shared. It would just make for very seamless workflows, and it wouldn't have to all live inside of one XD doc. Yeah, we could copy it and put it in there, but it'd be kind of cool to be able to share it and then link to that other XD document and back again if we wanted to do that. I just think that would be amazing. So Adobe, I know you can make this happen. So next is if-then scenarios. If-then scenarios for me, I can kind of give or take, but it's just kind of like a nice to have. So case in point, if this button is tapped, then do this. If this field is clicked in, then do this. it adds a little bit more variability and functionality. So just a little tag onto that, you know, if you have a field and you could type into it, Adobe, you know, hint, being able to type variables, you hit enter on the keyboard, it would actually be able to fire the event whether or not the value was right or wrong. Let's see, maybe 2 months, 3 months down the road. Yeah. All right, coming in at number 6 is expanding strokes. Now this is another nice to have, but it's just another thing that would keep me from having to jump from one program to another program for one simple task. Expanding strokes is simply you add a stroke to an icon or you add a stroke to a particular shape, and you want to be able to now have that be a shape that you can expand or contract or do whatever it is that you want to do with it. It'd be kind of nice to have just to say expand stroke. One simple button. I think we can make this happen. All right, next up is for all you Windows users out there. I myself am a Windows user, and I love being able to see things in full screen. Now, I found this really cool command in Windows that allows you to get a full screen environment within Windows Universal apps. It's Windows, hold the Windows key, Shift, and hit Enter. Now, what this will do is it'll make whatever universal app, if it's a true universal app, it will make it full screen. However, in the case of XD, there's one little thing that's missing. So when you go to the presentation window and you hit this command, Windows Shift Enter, what ends up happening is you end up with this very little white arrow in the top left-hand corner. Now, I did some research, Adobe, on this, and come to find out, I think we can disable that functionality when we go to full screen, you know, or maybe we can just attach it to the bar that comes down when you roll over it with your mouse and you see it pop down. Maybe we can add it back whenever it pops down and then take it away. I think we can do that. When you go to the actual XD program and you make it full screen, it does true full screen. Tested this across a host of other Windows apps, and they are true full screen. So let's take that little white window, little white arrow away for whenever we're giving our presentations to clients or to, you know, just other designers. It looks really good when we're able to do that within the XD application. All right, next is video in XD. Now, I feel like this might be announced. This is one of those kind of on the edge features that would be super dope if you did. I would like audio in XD. That would be kind of cool if we could attach audio to a particular element inside of the artboard. That way we could fire off events at different times. But I feel like video is cool because it covers both audio and video in one package. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant, just something that's enough to be able to loop the video. I don't want to be able to play a whole YouTube video inside of my presentation. I just want to be able to maybe show some cool things happening in the background with that video. Maybe you want to show clouds or something in the background while you are playing around with your experience. So ProtoPie did it. They only have a 20 meg cache. It's perfect, works just fine. I feel like Adobe could do this as well. All right, last but not least is versioning. This is also one of those that I think they will be announcing. It's kind of been verified in some of the blogs and things that they have released, but versioning would basically be the cherry on top. Currently right now, we're using SVN versioning where it is that I work. SVN works fairly well for us within our environment because it allows for document locking, and you don't run into different people editing one project and then you end up with multiple versions of that project. And it allows us to keep history. Having versioning within the XD or supported within the XD file would just be insane in terms of productivity and capability and being able to go back to a particular version that you might have saved or someone else might have saved. Just think it's going to be awesome whenever we get that. There's a few others that I didn't mention, you know, because I feel like they have been lauded or praised or pushed forward to the point to where it's like, this is definitely going to be a thing. One of them being like multi-person editing within an XD document. That's something we've been waiting on for a long time, and there's a few others that they're going to announce, but these are my top desirables that I would personally like to see. So, what do you think? Anything I missed? Pretty sure I did. Please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Hope this gave you some insight. Till next time, keep it up, and I'll catch you later.